oil. So to match, I'm just gonna put it down on the cheek just to make sure I like how it looks. And just blend that out. Are you excited to be Velma?
I am.
Yeah. How has rehearsals been going for Chicago?
Really well.
Yeah?
Well, for what we're used to.
We're really ahead.
Yeah,
like,
okay.
in comparison.
Surprisingly.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
I'm used to like panicking during tech week because we haven't blocked the rest of the show.
I understand that.
Not on my watch.
All right, so I'm gonna take that foundation. I'm gonna have you close your eyes, and I'm gonna use this to prep the eye for the eyeshadow. So I'm just going right underneath the brow and just placing that all over her lid.
Is that with foundation or concealer?
This is foundation. You can use either or. I'm just gonna use foundation for the whole face. So I'm gonna use a lighter foundation and a darker foundation for like that highlight contour. But of course, anything that you have, feel free to use. You could use multiple things to get the same results. And then I'm just gonna go back and blend that out.
What type of primer do you suggest using? Because I feel like I always get like blockage whenever I wear like show makeup too often.
Yeah. So if you are more on the dry side, make sure to moisturize. That's very, very important. And then if you're more on the oily side, there's all types of primers that will be like the, kind of like the oily T-zone that you'll put in there and it'll kind of mattify. You can do that. I can write down some that I would kind of recommend. Or you can always start with your moisturizer or your primer, and then you can do powder on top and then put your foundation on top. So that powder is gonna soak up the oil before moving on. Yes, ma'am.
What would you suggest for like more combination types?
Combination, honestly, just moisturizer. Just whatever you use, or just clean skin. If you're feeling more oily, I would just do clean. If you're more dry, I would moisturize. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions so far? Yeah. I'm just gonna do the same thing to the other eye. You have such long lashes.
Thank you.
You're so welcome.
I have mascara on too.
That is fine. We're just gonna add to it. And has anyone here used fake eyelashes? Yes.
I've attempted.
Okay, okay.
Not successful.
Tricky.
I will have to learn soon how to put them on.
I'm okay with the fake eyelashes. They kind of scare me.
They're a little scary. Yeah,
They're
anything
kind
to
of
do with
scary.
eyes, it's a little scary for sure.
Well, I'm wearing contacts, so I think I'm getting over my fear.
Touching your eyes every day, yeah. All right, so after we put the cream down or the concealer, I'm gonna go in with a powder that's close to her shade. You can use just a setting powder. You can use like a pressed powder, like the Maybelline Fit Me powder, something like that, just to make sure you have a nice set base before we go in with the eyeshadow. So I'm just gonna take that on just a fluffy brush, and I'm just gonna pat that on top. Look at you, such a good model. And this is just gonna make it easier for whenever we use powder on top to be able to blend. If you go straight in on top of the cream, it's gonna get like that patchy, and you're not gonna be able to move it, and then you'll panic and it's too late. So this is to help you out in the future. Bless you. All right, so do we all kind of know what the Velma character looks like? Have we seen pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so very vampy kind of look. So what I'm gonna do,
I've seen black and white.
yeah, so kind of like a black gray kind of smoky eye. So I'm going to take a gray.
Rolling up to Party City in this look.
Yes, yes you are. It's gonna match the whole fit and everything.
Oh yeah.
So I'm gonna take a gray shadow. Any gray shadow will work. And then we're gonna start by just placing that all over the eye. So I'm gonna first tap it in.
Can I move forward?
Yes, ma'am, you may.
Then I'll share this video with everybody.
Yeah, I have no problem if y'all want to scoot up,
And then,
sit on the floor, whatever
then
works
it
for
will
you.
be a little clearer. Am I in anybody's way?
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
there
ahead.
we go.
Sorry. I have
terrible eyesight.
Am I
You're
in
fine.
people's,
I can
Me
understand.
too.
am I in people's way?
Feeling good?
Okay.
Feeling good? Cool.
Okay.
And then I'm going to take that same gray eyeshadow and I'm going to take it on the outside and I'm going to flick towards the tail end of her brow. Because Vilma has that very sultry kind of smoky eye, and that's what we're kind of mimicking right now. And then I'm just going to go over and blend all of that out.
I'll note for everyone in Chicago, our color palette for this show is black, white, grayscale, metallics, and red, and not any other colors. So as you're doing eyeshadow, the color she's using right now is a great choice, or it could be other neutrals or metallics, but not pops of color.
No bright
Metallics like that guy?
Yeah.
Does this?
blues. And same thing over here. Over here, not so
I'm
scary.
using that for.
Ooh, looking good, Lexi. So is that just more of the dark, or what are you putting on there?
Just doing the same thing that I did on the other side, so it's just the same gray.
Gotcha.
Haven't moved on yet. I
Got
will
it.
let you know. So we kind of have like the base set out, and then we're gonna darken it up with some black. The darker the color, I would recommend the smaller the brush. It's just easier to work with because black eyeshadow can be scary. So, very scary. So you can see that I took the gray on the whole lid and then out. So I'm gonna do the same thing with the black, but I'm not gonna go as far out because black is very easy to get a black eye kind of look, and that's not what we're going for. So take that smaller brush, and I'll have you close, and I'm just gonna put it closer to her lash line. And then doing the same thing by just kind of winging it out. And then I'm gonna go back with that same brush that I used for the gray. And this is just gonna help blend it just a bit more without adding extra black, so we don't get that messy look.
So do you wash your brushes after like each
Person.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, like for us, like after each show, you
Mhm.
should wash your brushes to keep the, or after each application.
Yeah,
Which is
so-
the,
I mean, with theater, I know it's not, everyone uses everything. I've been there. So it's not that big of a deal. Just be very cautious if someone, has like a sty on their eye, don't use the same brush as them. But yeah, I would recommend every night after the show to do a deep wash of them. And then throughout the process, you can spray them with alcohol if you want, because that'll dry it up, but it will still sanitize the brush for you.
got it.
Yes.
Would you say the same for somebody's own personal products? Like
Mhm.
if I'm using only my own brushes
If you're using
on
your
myself,
own, then no. So say if you have like a back-to-back, like a 2-day show, you don't have to wash your own brushes. It's going on the same face and using the same products. So no. But if you're using your brushes on other people, I would recommend. Don't want to spread cooties and all of that. So I'm gonna go back in with more black. I'm just gonna deepen it where I want to. So just more so on this outer corner. And then same brush, no product on it, just to blend it out just a bit more. And if you want, you can come up and take a picture of each side, just because
Yes.
it's easier to see the difference whenever you add the black.
Gonna just come in here. Good.
Little
Smile. Perfect.
It'll start off by looking a bit messy. That's why we're gonna start with eyes first, so that way we can clean it up later with the foundation. Yes, yeah. Fix
That's
all the
interesting.
mistakes.
I always do foundation first, so that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Foundation first is fine as well. Just when using darker like shadows, you're gonna get some fallout. So that's whenever it falls off the eye
Yeah.
onto the face.
Yeah.
And then you'll wipe it and everything starts turning gray. So I would recommend just starting with the eyes, and that way it'll save you some time later whenever you start doing the foundation. And I'm just gonna repeat the same thing on this side. So just starting close to the lashes and then slowly starting to wing it out.
Oh my gosh, she makes this look so easy and it's like so beautiful. And then when I
Thank
do it, it'll be
you.
a mess.
I will say practice makes perfect. So if you're feeling unsure about the look, practice it the night before. If that makes sense. Because whenever you start it for the first time for a show, you'll start panicking because it's not looking right, and then it just, I get it. Anxiety is not gonna. So help yourself out, practice the night before, especially if you're unsure about eyeliner, lips, lashes, just practice that bit before, so that way you feel more confident the day of. I wasn't like this at y'all's age. You know, you get better the more that you do it.
Yeah.
And then I'm just adding more black, again like the last side, just to deepen up that wing look. And then whenever I blend, I do kind of like a windshield wiper motion. Perfect. If you want to get closer again, you can. It's not gonna bother me.
Look at her beautiful.
She's like, I can't see, but I bet it
don't
looks
know what
great.
I mean now, but I bet
looks
it's
great.
Very trusting. So then, like she was saying, the metallics, that's what we're gonna bring in next. So metallics are very fun, really nice on stage because the light will hit it and that will really accentuate the eyes. So I'm gonna go in with this silvery shade. And for this, I'm just gonna put it in the inner kind of corner. So you see wherever there's not really a lot of shadow, I'm just gonna put it right on top. It'll make more sense when I place it, and then I'll let y'all see it. So I'm just gonna go right from the inner corner and right on top of the lid. And then again, just using that same brush I've been using just to blend it out and soften it if I don't love how it looks. And then if you want to get extra fancy with it, you can also bring that same silver under the brow bone. Because Velma's dramatic, so we want to match that. And then you can come up again if you want to see the difference between when I place the silver. Beautiful. Doing okay, everyone? Yeah. Yes? Okay. Perfect. Any questions so far? No? Okay. And then again, doing the same thing with the silver on this side. And same brush, just to blend out the edges. And then just making sure to make them as even as possible. That's probably the most difficult part. But you'll be on stage, so no one's up in your face. So if it isn't perfect, don't blame yourself.
They're sisters, not twins.
Yes, very much so. And then, how do we feel about eyeliner? Yes?
I'm good with eyeliner.
I can
Yeah?
do a cat eye. Look, this is what I do.
I'm good with eyeliner.
Okay.
Ish.
Do we like pencil, liquid?
I use liquid.
Liquid. Okay.
No.
So
Pencil.
none.
For a beginner.
For a beginner, I would recommend a pencil,
Liquid's a
or
lot
I would
better.
recommend using a black shadow on a
Tiny
thin
brush.
Yeah,
shaded
yeah.
brush. And then whenever you do the shadow, the easiest way to make a line is instead of doing this, you're going to actually stamp it. And when you stamp it, you get a line
Oh, do
without
that again.
the shakiness. You want to see it?
Yes.
Let me get close. So instead of doing a swipe, you're going to stamp. Yeah. Also with eyeliner, don't go straight in like this. That is going to hurt. Instead, lay it on the eye. So that will kind of help you guide it. Instead, if you do this, it's a lot harsher on the eye and it's a lot harder to get that fine line that we want. So for her, we already have like black and whatnot, so I'm just gonna deepen it up on the lash line. So I'll have you close, and I'm just going to, like I showed you, use the angle side of it and just drag it on her lash line. No crazy winged liner or anything like that. We're just kind of using it to deepen it up on the lash line. And same thing over here. Get up close. Little
Yep, there it is.
YouTube channel going on over here. And then, the great thing about pencil or shadow is you can smudge it if you're not entirely in love with it. So I'm just gonna take that outer corner and just blend it into that wing we already created. So not like a cat wing, but just blending it into it just to give that nice smoky look that Velma has. So after that, it looks a little crazy. We don't want to look crazy. So you can either take just a makeup wipe, what I used on her before, and I'm gonna have her look straightforward, and I'm gonna go from the bottom right here up to the brow. So just one wipe. You can also use micellar water on Q-tips, and that's just gonna help give that shape that we're going for. Clean it up. Doing okay?
Yeah, it's fun.
Fun? Relaxing?
Yeah, it is. Very mellow.
Have you ever had your makeup done?
Not like professionally, no.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look at
This
that.
is like fun.
Little treat for you.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Look at how she cleaned that up.
I feel like I'm not chalking up. I'm like scared to move and like mess
You're
up.
doing
My girl.
perfect. Yeah. So everyone feels good on that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yes.
Anyone need to get closer? We have a great video being filmed if anyone needs that afterwards.
Yes.
Perfect.
I'm legally blind, so.
Same.
Legally blind.
I'll give you this so you can kind of see.
yes, technically.
Oh.
I mean, I can't talk
Are you
about my
shook?
glasses.
Yeah. What?
It's not what I was picturing. Yeah, yeah.
You can go.
Perfect. Just a natural everyday look, you know.
Right now, my
Nothing crazy.
-9, -8.
So before we move on to mascara, lashes, and whatnot, I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the face done. So I'm just gonna take foundation, brush, you can do a sponge, your fingers, whatever you feel comfortable with, and I'm just gonna start placing that all over the face.
So is that a liquid foundation you were using there?
This is a
or-
cream still,
Okay.
but the more that you like work with it, it warms up, but it starts out as a stick.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, so you
So
just
you don't rub.
you took like a glop of it
You can.
and
So
put it on your palette.
that's what I do. So the way I'm doing it is more
Interesting.
sanitation rules. Of course, if you have your own personal stick, it is meant to be used almost like a crayon and just rub it on. Yeah, yeah. But for me, I'm gonna do it on my palette. And then I'm just placing that more so in the center of the face. It's easier to go from the center of the face and then work out. And then we'll build up where we need to, because like I said, theater makeup is a little bit more than what you would wear on a day-to-day basis. Do you typically wear makeup?
I only do like really light stuff like concealer, and then I do eyeliner and I like pencil eyeliner.
Oh, so you're a pro, is that what you're saying?
Hardcore opposite of that. Pink.
I'm too tired in the mornings to do makeup on
Yeah, I don't do it before school, but like
I can't.
if I'm going out, like when I have the time and energy to do it, I'll do makeup because it's so fun.
It is fun. It should
I
be
love
fun.
doing my makeup, especially playing around with eye stuff.
Yeah.
I just come home and I'll put makeup on and I'll walk downstairs and my mom's like, what happened? You were upstairs for about 30 minutes. We called you down for dinner
And I'm just gonna blend that out.
and now you come
Again,
on.
you can use your fingers, sponge. I'm just gonna use a brush.
Do you recommend a brush versus a sponge?
The difference between a sponge and a brush, your sponge is gonna soak up some of the product. So you'll end up using more product than you think you will because your sponge is gonna soak it up. To not have that happen, you're gonna soak your sponge first, and that way it won't soak up as much. I'm gonna use a brush right now, but at the end I'll use a sponge just to get in there.
So
and
this,
sure.
you just soak it in water?
You can soak it in water, you can soak it in like a setting spray,
Interesting.
but water typically just works just the same. And she has perfect skin, so I don't really have to do much.
I wish. I wish, bro.
Roxy Hart and Velma Kelly in a song, Unmitigated Ego.
Yeah, for sure. That's what I'm here for.
Bro, clear skin. Who knows her, bro? I had dermatitis under my nose and didn't know it for 5 years.
I got eczema, so I understand.
Oh, mine, it was right here. I like had a mustache.
I have dermatitis under mine too. I have to put stuff on it.
So not fun.
I don't have it anymore because I took like.
So that is like our first layer of foundation. You can tell it matches her skin tone perfectly. And then I'm going to take a slightly lighter one and a slightly darker one, and that's going to be our contour. So using the same product, just different colors of it.
Oh gosh, contour scares me.
Don't let it scare you.
So will
Again,
you
let's
write
match
down
that
your
nose.
brushes? Will you write down the brushes?
I never mess.
Where do you even
I
contour?
never mess with my
Like your
nose. It
nose
scares
area
me too much.
and your cheekbones.
Yeah.
Yeah, but where do you do it on like?
It kind of
Depends on your face.
It very much depends on your
Bro,
face.
I
There's
tried
a
and just-
TikTok filter that shows you.
Yes.
not
Technology.
everyone would do contour the same way because our faces are all different.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
about your bone structure.
I have.
And also what you're trying to achieve with the contour.
Yes, but I'll show you kind of like the main placements what I do. So I have that lighter shade. First placement is going to be the forehead. So any place that's going to hit the light first, so forehead, nose, chin, and cheeks, that's going to be where you're going to highlight. And that's just a guide for any, and of course you can kind of change it depending on what look you are going for. I'm going to go down the nose. Chin. And this is just going to help the makeup not look so flat because the lights are known to be kind of washing you out a little bit on stage. So we're going to add as much color as we can to eliminate that. And then under the eye, so this is kind of like I'm using it as a concealer. How's your skin feeling? Heavy?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. That's what we
A
want.
lot of makeup.
And then same thing over here. And if you want, you can get close just to see where I placed all of that.
Oh yeah, there's that. Chin, nose. You look funny.
That's a good describing word. Fun. Now I'm going to take a darker shade, and this is what I'm going to use to contour.
I can't read lips.
So usually I will go on the sides of the forehead. And then we'll do the cheekbones, because I think Velma is very strong and needs some cheekbones, but nothing too crazy.
Oh. I just started going.
So you recommend different colors of like foundation instead of like I've seen these powder contour palettes.
If you can do powder as well, I'm going to do powder on top just to intensify it.
Okay.
But I think using cream or foundation is going to be more intense than you would get with powder.
Okay. But if you don't want to buy 3 different foundations,
Then definitely you can
could
use
get a
eyeshadow,
palette.
powders, anything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of places come with just a compact that will have
Yes.
your blush and contour. Yes, ma'am?
How would you like set the contour and eyes and stuff? 'Cause,
Yeah.
like, I sweat a lot.
The contour on like the face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go through that. So first, I'll show you what we'll do with powder. Powder is gonna help a lot, and then setting spray as well. So, if you wanna come up again
Yes.
just to see the contour. Easy way to find your contour is it's gonna be from your ear and down almost towards the corner of your mouth.
Where on your ear?
Like right here, right at the top. Or you
At
can
the
do
top
the
of the ear.
fishy face as well, and that will help as well.
Yeah. Do it fishy face.
And you'll see it right there.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far down do you bring it? Like how?
I kind of stop right halfway in the face.
Do you ever do jaw too?
You can do jaw, so I'll show that as well, because it does actually look very good on stage because it will cast that dark shadow. So like me, I would get rid of my double chin. You can get rid of whatever you need to. So what I like to do is I will place it just along the jaw. You have a great jawline, so we'll emphasize that. Just all these compliments I'm throwing at you, right? Little ego boost. And then same over here. Just down the jaw. And make sure and place it under the jaw, because if you place it here, it will start to look like a 5 o'clock shadow, and you don't want that.
I love that.
Yeah. You like that one?
Be an effect.
Yes, yeah. If, you know, you never know.
What you're going for
Yes,
shadow
yeah.
removal.
If you have some males that, you know, can't really grow the facial hair, you can always do that.
Or just playing so many men.
Yes, or that, yeah. Been there.
So long.
So I'm gonna start blending out the lightest and then the darkest.
And then
Lightest and then the darkest.
that was my last like main female role.
This way I can get away with using just one brush instead of multiple. So this is the same brush I use for the foundation. And I'm just gonna keep reusing it until I cannot no more. Now have you look up for me?
So are you blending that up under her eye to use it as a concealer as well
Mhm.
then?
Yep, I'm just using the foundation as concealer.
Got it.
You can always use concealer. Again, if you have your perfect shades at home, that's the easiest way to just bring that and use that. Because no one wants to buy, like you said, 5 different
Yeah.
shades of foundation. So there's the highlight blended, and then we'll go back and we'll do the contour. Any questions so far? Sound good? Great? Snazzy? Cool. And I'm gonna start blending this a little bit into the hairline as well, just so we don't get, sometimes you'll find like that line of your scalp, so we'll try and get rid of that.
How far do you go? Because I've had
Just
problems.
barely.
I had problems with like accidentally like shaking and just like it's all in my hair and all.
Oh, like brushing it up? Yeah, I mean, if you have that, you can stay away from the forehead or like the scalp line and just keep it more in
Why
the
I put
center.
my hair up now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big thing, is like staying away from like rubbing, touching the face too much.
Oh, she blends so beautifully.
How much darker do you suggest we go for? Is there like a method?
There is a method to the madness. So for foundation, of course, it's going to be your skin tone. So if your face is a different color than your neck, match the neck. But usually you just want it all uniformed. And then for highlight or concealer, you want to go 1 to 2 shades lighter, and then 1 to 2 shades darker for your contour. Good question. And then for this, if you want to look that way real quick, turn your face a little bit. There you go. I'm going to blend up. And again, just getting into that hairline, closer to the ears. And just really melting that with the concealer. And then under the jaw, I'm gonna blend down instead of up into the face.
You gonna fall asleep, Lexi?
Yeah.
It's relaxing, isn't
It
it?
is.
Just painting your face. Same thing over here. Blending that into the hairline, closer to the ears. And then blending in. So say you're doing your contour and it's too much and you're looking kind of orange or something like that, you can always go back over with more foundation to kind of blend it in. As well as the powder typically will lighten it as well. And then down the jawline and the neck.
I just remember Jekyll where I had so much contour on that backstage I was like bright orange.
Yes.
Like on stage it looked fine.
Exactly, yes.
Because I had to have such harsh contour because I was a massive creep.
Yes, those massive creeps do have their good contour for sure.
I got the snatched jawline and cheekbones.
Yes.
Do you
That
recommend the
that-
different shades of foundation for like everyday looks as well, or should that be more of like the classic like brown contour and then like glowy highlight?
It depends. So if you like the way that this looks and you want to use it in your everyday, you can. Just maybe less layers. Yeah. And typically your liquid foundation is going to be lighter weight and it's not going to feel as heavy on the skin. So if this feels heavy, you might want to do more of a liquid. But cream is going to be your most pigmented one. So like I said, I'm going to go in with a sponge. Any sponge. You can get those little wedge ones as well that come in like a pack of, I don't know, 50. Those work great as well. And I already soaked it, so it's not going to soak up anything. And I'm just going to use this to go over everything to make sure it's nice and pressed into her skin. And that's also going to help with it not wearing off. Is the more that it is melted with the skin instead of just setting on top of the skin.
Pores. Feel them clogging.
Oh my gosh.
She's patting all that into
Don't
your
worry,
pores.
girl. I don't know why, but I found random Bior pore strips. I don't know why are they in my bag.
Just rip out.
Just like right now.
Like it's on alert.
So I'm going to set with a translucent powder. I know it looks white, it is translucent. Again, like I said, you can use pressed powder if you need more coverage. Say you only have a liquid foundation, I would just go over with a powder foundation to get that coverage that you're looking for. And I'm going to use a powder puff. You can always use a big powder brush as well. Again, whatever makes sense to you. I'm gonna have you look up for me. And I'm just gonna re-blend it out before I put the powder on, so that way those creases don't show up. And then I'm just going to press the powder in. And let that sit there for a second. Looks kind of crazy right now. Trust the process.
What is a powder puff?
It's
Powder
just-
puff?
Is it just like a sponge? Or is it
Kind of like a sponge. It's more of,
like fiber, like it looks like a cloth.
I'll let you touch it.
If you picture a little makeup compact that has the powder with a circular thing on top of it. that's-
Anyone else want to touch it?
I want to see. Here. Yeah.
I'm autistic and I have to.
They also sell disposable ones. Anyone else want to touch? Fun interactive games. Yes. But again, you can just use the same sponge as well. You can dip that into the powder and use it as a powder puff as well. Or brush. But I'm just gonna do it this way.
Would you also set the eyeshadow or not?
So the eyeshadow, once we did that cream base as the like the eyeshadow primer, and then we set it with this nice cream shade, that set it. And then any powders on top is just further setting the eyeshadow. Now, if you are running into problems with creasing, I would recommend probably grabbing a actual eyeshadow primer instead of just using the foundation, because that has the ingredients in there that's really gonna like lock in, if that makes sense. But again, play around with it at home. Wear it for a day, see how it wears. Again, the stage lights are a little bit hotter, so you'll notice you'll start sweating a little bit, talking and nerves and dancing and whatnot. So I'm also going to take the same powder and I'm going to place it right underneath the contour. If anyone knows what baking is, this is kind of what it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All this is going to do is accentuate that contour. And I'll have you turn to this side with your head. This side, other side.
Other side.
That way you can see
Ah, yes.
what I did.
Would you blend it out?
Eventually, yes.
Eventually, yes. We're letting that powder do its job by setting what is underneath.
Oh, that's what bacon means. You leave it there for a
Mhm.
while. Ah.
How long do you leave it?
I don't leave it there a lot. The longer that it sets, the more light it's gonna have, since it is a translucent powder, but it has kind of that white color. The longer I let it set, the more that white kind of color is gonna set there. So I don't want that, so I'm gonna not let it set too long.
So it's like less than a minute.
Yeah, you can leave it up to like 5 minutes if you want.
Stripey
I feel
face.
so Jeffree Star right now.
Trixie Mattel, maybe.
James Charles. Just
Not Trixie Mattel, but Trixie Mattel.
I love Trixie. And then I'm going to take that big fluffy brush with powder,
Oh,
and I'm just gonna place this everywhere else.
how do you not get your black clothes?
Oh, I do. I'm just surprised that I haven't yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Like when you're wearing a black costume, you get like powder on there. You're like, well,
I was
So
like,
ideally, you can do your makeup
Yeah, before you get in
put your
costume.
on,
that's
so
that. I
you
knew
don't
that
get
now,
caught.
but before I just wear black.
So lesson learned. Not gonna do that again, but
Sometimes during a show, you're changing your makeup look and you're already in costume. But
Yeah.
for the most part,
Taking off and putting back on the black lipstick.
yeah.
Little
Uh,
Mermaid. Also trying to hide the glitter.
I had my choir concert this week, and I forgot to put my makeup on before.
Oh
So I
no.
was sitting in my choir dress in the auditorium, putting my makeup on, and I got setting powder all over the velvet part, and I was just like,
Whoa.
oh my gosh, you're
slaying.
snatch.
like he's like, this is not me.
I'm gonna take that same powder brush and I'm just gonna wipe away
That's how I feel
the
like
powder we left.
Goodbye.
eating a donut. It just looks.
So I explain for the dumb mom. What's baking? What is this?
It's just putting a lot of setting powder to make it just helps it set better and it stays on a lot more
Like
easily.
you leave it there for a little bit and
Yep.
it, like why?
Absorbs all the oil.
It just helps it
Oh.
stick more to the skin, and it's not gonna leave as easy as, because over time makeup will tend to disappear. So like the first thing that leaves the face is the blush, and then everything else afterwards.
What about putting eyeliner on your nose?
As
That'll stay
in,
forever.
like what
No,
kind of,
it does not. I can.
like what kind of eyeliner?
For willows.
Willows. We have these noses and we have to re-put them on every like
They're
30,
all
like.
animals, so they have a little.
Oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
and you could walk backstage and
I
you could
just
see.
outline it with eyeliner, then put like black eyeshadow in the middle. It works
Yeah.
a lot
I
better.
don't have black
Because-
eyeshadow.
I have black eyeshadow.
Yeah.
So like you were saying about contour powder,
Yeah, because it's oily.
if you wanted to, you could just do the foundation set with powder and then go in with contour powder.
That's what I
So usually your contour powder is a little bit more gray in color. So I'm gonna take a little bit of that. And I'm just going to accentuate what we already have. If you want to, you can turn your head that way again. And I'm just placing it right in the hollow of the cheek, just to accentuate
Oh my god, snatch.
that contour.
It's like you got like. This is the easiest way not to do Botox, guys. Gosh, I'm never gonna look like my aunt.
Granted, this is not the same. This is not why people get Botox.
That's what my aunt did.
She gets it for wrinkles, not the using it for.
Or whatever the thing is to snatch your face.
I don't think
We appreciate that color.
skin and amazing cheekbones.
Yeah.
I hope you know I've been posting every single compliment on my story.
Actually,
So you can see.
on
Look at
Instagram.
her.
Or,
No,
Yeah.
I snap.
Just-
I wish I had Snapchat because I would like to do videos for them.
You don't have to.
But you've been here to hear them.
Yeah, true, but I have memory loss, so.
Don't we all?
Well, mine's diagnosed though, so.
Next blush. I'm
Oh,
gonna
gosh.
do peachy kind of blush.
Oh. I've never worn peachy blush. I just wear pink.
Because in the 1920s, blush wasn't as popular. It was basically only contour.
We
but
have not entered the era of rouge yet.
Yes. But since it's on stage, we don't want you to
Powder
look
a
too
little bit
flat.
So y'all can hear this about the blush.
We don't want to look too flat, so I'm just going to use it to bring back that color into her skin. And for blush, I'm going to do, if you turn to the side, right on top of that contour. So I'll show you. And again, this is just gonna help it mix into the rest of the face and not look as harsh.
Could you just come to our houses and just
I know.
We all get here 7 hours. Maybe.
And then you
Yeah,
can
we
look
just
forward.
skipped school on Friday.
And you can see the difference that makes. A little bit more healthier look.
oh yes.
Not my Victor Frankenstein type.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So in the 1920s movies, were they still black and white?
Yes.
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 922. They were still silent films.
Oh.
Yes, not movies. The
Yes.
first movie with sound, with the first Pucky was 1929, The Jazz Singer.
Oh yeah.
So through the 20s, it was silent films. And that kind of
Yeah, because I watched a history video about people putting like, to make themselves look like they have makeup on, they put like blues and yellows
Because it showed up better on
in black and white movies, did you know that they use syrup and
Yeah.
They still use corn syrup as blood. It's just now red.
Red.
Oh, yeah.
and they still did because their reds were actually like
We have to do this every day. Everyday look.
Lexi, I have over a page of notes. I'll do it for you.
Can I like come to your house 6 a.m.
Yes.
do my contour like
Gonna go to school like this.
every single day?
Do we know what highlight is? Highlighter?
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't we already put highlighter on?
It was just
So,
How do we make
Like,
sure we don't
good.
do modern highlighter? Because I think modern highlighter is very
Yes, so modern highlighter is a lot. So with this, instead of doing, like nowadays they do cheek, nose, chin, forehead, we're just gonna do the cheeks. If that makes sense. Yeah. But the difference, your question, when, I should really say shimmer is what this is called, to not get confused with the highlight and contour. But this highlight is more shimmery, and the last highlight that we did was just the foundation.
Oh, this is the sparkle thing.
The sparkle
I like
things,
the sparkle.
yes, yes.
I love the sparkle
Love this
thing.
one.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna use this on a smaller brush, or you can do the powder brush. I'm gonna have you look this way. And I'm just gonna put that on the highest point of her cheekbone. So just right here. And we're not putting a lot. We just want enough to when she's on stage that it's gonna hit and you're gonna see that glowy kind of look to the skin. So it's not so flat. That's what we're kind of trying to stay away from. Same thing over here, right on her cheekbone. And I wouldn't use a super sparkly one. Or do, you know, just what do you have, you use. So after that, we're gonna go back to the eyes now that we have the rest of the face done.
This may be a weird question about shimmer. I have a shimmer palette with like multiple shades. What do you suggest using? Like, cause I have like, if there's like a lighter and then there's a gold one and a pink one, I was kinda like, I don't know what to use that, I don't know, if that makes sense.
As like highlighters.
Yeah, like, I don't know what to use
Yeah,
first, or what color.
yeah. So like the one I'm using is kind of like a,
off-whitish.
yeah. So you'll see like your champagnes are really good. Your pearly kind of looks are good. I would stay away from like silvers, golds, because that will actually, it will look more like that streak. Like we're talking about more like modern highlighter. We don't want to. So anything that like blends into the skin well, I would use. So like pink, purples, whatnot.
So we don't do lips.
Or we're doing lipstick,
Mm-hmm.
but we don't. We're only highlighting the cheeks.
Yeah.
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 So the highlight that you use shouldn't be like pigmented with like pinks and purples and stuff.
Like everywhere, yeah.
Yeah.
Look at her, taking notes. So now I'm going to go back into our eyeshadow shades. I'm going to take that black. And then I'm gonna have her look up for me. And I'm going to take this under the eye.
Oh, sorry, I'm
You're
drinking.
good. You're
Whoa.
good. It's something that you kind of have to get used to.
This is Claire's favorite part.
Yo, I had to help her do it.
Oh, I know you did. You didn't help me at all. You just
I
not
told you
built
it's
to under eye.
Do the same thing over here.
Don't think about that is me helping you.
You can break. You can blink.
Yeah,
Blink.
I just can't get it close to my eye.
Blink.
Eyeshadow does turn.
Awesome.
We're not
that's
done,
great.
but you did that part. So I just kind of put that black all over, and then I'm gonna go in with that gray to smoke it out. And then look up again for me. Just have to be a little lower so it's not as. Blink. And blink. Doing okay?
Yeah. Slaying the day.
I know, I'm all up in your eyes. It's not very fun. Same thing over here. You can blink.
Stick that brush right in the middle there and see how she reacts.
Right in the eyeballs.
Yeah.
Stab me, you know.
It happens once, you get used to it, so.
Awesome.
So that just kind of helps smoke it out a little bit more.
Are you telling her about
Well, cause she,
the incident?
well, cause in Joseph, Debra made us do like half, and she only let us do half bottom eyeliner, and then she was like, "Are you fucking
That's the way that I learned to do eyeliner, because this is the same teacher I had in middle school when I was starting theater, and so I was like, oh, that's familiar. You know, blend it out more than what she
It's the
taught.
most insane thing
Wait,
you've
how
ever
were y'all
heard.
taught to do?
She's a horrible teacher. Like she doesn't work very.
Okay.
But it was like super thick, like on the top of the eye, and then
You
like
go all the way
only
across the
half,
top, and then halfway across the bottom.
and nothing.
Wait,
Don't
is
bother
this the
to blend.
teacher that caused you to get splashed in the
Yep,
face with the
yeah,
iodine?
we're done.
We don't
Yep.
need a.
Moving on.
Okay, great.
That's a whole story.
You're doing better,
Much
yeah?
better bottom eyeliner.
Yes. Cool, cool. So I'm gonna take that same metallic shade and I'm gonna put it in the inner corner. So you can just close for me. A little bit more comfortable for you. So this will kind of act as our sparkle or shimmer. More in the modern times, we'd use the same highlight that you did on the face,
Are you
but
doing
for this,
falsies on me?
Huh?
Are you doing falsies on me?
yes, is that okay?
I love falsies.
Have you ever worn fake eyelashes?
I wore them for the first time last week.
Sweet.
Oh, wait,
for
for
what?
homecoming.
Homecoming.
You can close. How was homecoming?
It wasn't my school, but it was fun.
It's not fair that you went to my school's homecoming and I did not. Yeah.
So at this point, you would want to apply mascara. I would use your own on yourself. I would not recommend using your own on other people. Yeah?
Yeah.
Cool.
Hygiene.
I'm gonna do disposables. So if you're all using the same, you can do it that way as well. She already has top mascara on, but this is when I would do the top mascara. If you're doing someone else's makeup, the easiest way to do mascara on someone else is have them look at your niece, and you would grab the eye, and then you would push through. Yeah, I know, kind of scary. Easier to do it yourself, that's what I would recommend. And then I'll have you look up, and I'm just gonna touch your bottom lashes, give you a break, you can blink.
The only time I've ever sworn at Clara was when I was putting mascara
I
on.
was 3.
Yes, she was doing it for
That's old.
pictures, and I.
I was
that's giving.
one and
Well, she cried, so that wasn't good. Because then she was all like crying for the pictures.
This is a stressful situation.
That's giving me flashbacks to when I did dance as a kid,
Yes,
and I
that's-
couldn't do my makeup yet.
Yeah.
And so my mother would like pin me down on the bed to do my makeup because I was like 2.
Yeah, that's
Not fun.
we're still friends, Clara and I, after all that. But,
Don't recommend.
Just friends.
No bitterness
So I've heard different things recommended. I've seen people say to put the mascara on before the falsies, and then I've seen people say to put it on after to help blend it together. Before.
I think it's personal preference,
Okay.
to be honest. I do either or. Whenever you put mascara after, that will just kind of help blend the lashes together. I personally don't like the look of mascara on false eyelashes. Sometimes it gets a little spidery, so that's why I do it before. So So who has worn fake eyelashes? Slay. Amazing. All right.
You wore fake
It
eyelashes?
was for a school play. They made like because those things Sister Act, they made the nuns wear.
The nuns?
I
No, I'm
probably
telling you.
never see.
Like literally, there was one part where the nuns were doing a vector dance. It was a vector.
The
Yeah, they were like doing like this, and, like they were going. And it was just so crazy.
Wait, isn't the Sister Act a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie and musical, I think.
I like the movie.
Oh, that reminds me of my school.
So, for your video, lashes right out of the box, they're not going to fit on your eye. Do not try and make it fit. It's not going to fit. I mean, some people's eyes, it might fit. But I would recommend buying a set. They come in like a set of like 5, and that way it comes with the glue. So that way you don't have to buy separately. So what I like to do, I use tweezers. They also have lash applicators, or you can use your fingers, either or. So I'm going to show you how to apply it on someone else in case some people need help with it, and then I'll also show you how to apply it on yourself. So to measure it, I'm going to have you look down at your knees, and I'm going to place and cut. So I like to leave like a pinky's width of no lash here, if that makes sense. So I want the lash to start here and then go out. Do you want to get close and see
I
that?
do.
See that action? So when I place it, look down. I leave just about that much, and then I know how much to trim off. And then whenever you're trimming, you don't want to trim from the inside, you want to trim from the outside. Yeah. And then I just take scissors and I will trim off how much I need. Usually it's going to be like a centimeter usually.
That's what she was.
Who?
Nefertiti. She was like a female Egyptian pharaoh. Like that's what
Clara, don't ever get a part where you need false eyelashes, okay?
Oh, wait until she's
Look
older.
down.
She'll get all the parts with false eyelashes.
Just
The
making sure
more
that
you learn to
fits.
dance, the more false eyelashes you need. That's what I've learned.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, like what the featured dancers always have false eyelashes.
I'm going to take the glue and I'm going to apply it onto the lash line or the fake lashes. If you're using your own glue and it comes in an applicator like an eyeliner, you can always go directly on your eye instead of doing it on the lash. Again, wouldn't recommend doing that on everyone if it's your personal.
Do you have a method for cleaning off the falsies after? Because if like glue builds up.
So what I do, very satisfying, is to sit there and pick it off. Or you can use like Dawn dish soap and just kind of scrub at it. Or you can use like a makeup remover, anything like that. But usually just picking it off is what I typically do.
You know what? We have a really great eye makeup remover that's like a balm that
Yeah.
we got at Sephora.
Do you guys use Beauty Counter or a different one? I use Beauty
I
Counter
don't
every day.
think I don't remember even what it's called, but it might work.
Yeah, the oil cleansers is really good.
Yeah.
With false eyelashes, how often can you like reuse them?
So most lashes you can reuse up to like 5 to 10 times. Some are up to 20. It really just depends on how you take care of it afterwards, like she was saying. So you don't want to keep applying it if it has like gunked up glue. You want to make sure and clean that off, or it won't stick to the actual eye.
Okay, what are you doing over here? You're
I'm just
cutting them and putting glue on
Yeah,
them.
so I measured this one, cut it, did the same thing to the other one, and then I'm just applying glue on both, and I'm gonna let them dry for a bit.
Oh, why?
So the glue, whenever you first put it on, is very liquidy and it will not stick. You have to let it get tacky, so that way it actually sticks to the lash. So you
Would not
can
have known
blow on
that.
it, you can wave it. I'm not gonna blow on it because it's not my eye. You're welcome. You don't get my coffee breath all over it.
I didn't know that one. That's a different one.
So to put it on other people, I will have you look down at your knees. I'm going to start by dropping it right in the middle of the eye. It might have dried up on you. So I waited too long and it dried, so don't do that. But that was on purpose. I was showing you what happens.
It was an example of what not to do.
Of course, thank you.
For being a good educator.
Thank you, thank you. Everyone makes mistakes. No one's perfect.
Education, everyone.
Education.
Education.
And just tap.
Here's a photo of Lexi looking at a phone.
It's my story that's just all about Lexi. Spam of the Lexi.
Okay, second try. So again, look down at your knees, and then I'm gonna drop it right in the middle.
Lexi gives her compliments. She has perfect skin. You have the great job.
And then I grab and place the outer corner
Lauren Dean spiked up and said you deserve it, queen.
and the inner corner.
So much.
How's it feel?
Good.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
Wow.
And that way you can really tell the difference.
I love falsies so much.
Yeah. So I'll show you
They
what
just
that look like.
do so much.
It's perfect.
It's the difference.
My
Oh my
eyelashes are like
gosh.
non-existent. Beautiful.
Am I gonna wear falsies every single day?
No, I think
Can we
you
get
need to
eyelash extensions?
Girl, if we look like caterpillars the rest of the year, I can't do that.
I'm willing to take that risk, honestly. Lauren Deaton's eyelashes look so good all the time.
So to apply it on yourself, you kind of do the same thing. So what I would recommend is a mirror, or even some palettes will come with mirrors, and hold it at your lap. Because the hardest way to apply lashes is looking forward and trying to get over the lash. You want to look down so that way you can see your lash line, if that makes sense. Again, this is probably the most tedious, so I would recommend practice with this one. It's very easy to get frustrated with this. And just doing the same thing, letting this one dry. Apply it on this one. Is she famous on Snapchat?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's good.
Maybe I'll send it to Harrison and be like, I promise.
It's the last.
Just
Give
to
me a solid.
Once we get lipstick on, then I think
Then.
it's a yes.
That red lip's gonna tie together. So look down at your knees. And same thing,
Oh,
I
I'm so ready.
start by tacking it into the middle. And then doing the outer corner. And the inner corner.
So mine. Yeah, I have to use my.
How's that one feel?
Good, yeah.
Good?
Oh, beautiful.
And that took me like 2 minutes, but for y'all, it will take a little bit more time to get used to it. But
How
you
do you
can get there.
suggest like going about deciding like buying different lashes? Like,
Oh, yeah.
So for theater, I would definitely do a little bit more than you would for like your everyday. These still look quite natural, I would think. So not like super, you don't want them like all up in your eyebrows or anything like that.
Yeah.
Unless that is your character, then you do it that way.
It's a character.
But I would just do lashes that are like a step up from what your lashes look like now. Yeah, like your lashes but better kind of look. Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
I think it's within
I
my
want
character
rainbow.
to have gems in my eyelash.
I think the contour on like here needs to blend out a little bit. There's like a little bit of a line. Just looking like right beneath her like I do usually. The one who
Yeah, look
who
up.
manically stabbed
she's
her
a little
husband.
woman.
And claims he walked
Well,
into
Than I usually have.
Or she
people.
He ran into my knife 10 times.
he's so dumb.
Well, he was accusing me of cheating.
Understandable.
So
I
I
think it was Morgan. No, he
Also,
And then there's
he didn't
Liz.
actually run and took her knife 10 times.
Yeah.
He
But, like,
basically asked for it.
Well, he did.
She's lying.
He's so obvious.
Lying on.
I think mine is the most obvious lie.
Her
Shocked.
excuse to the police is that he ran into my knife, and they're like, but there's 10 stab wounds, ma'am.
He ran
You
into
ran
my
into my
knife.
knife 10 times.
Lips.
Imagine if
So
imagine if he's like falling back and falling.
Okay,
red
wait.
lips are very popular in the 20s, especially Velma's character. I would say the other character's name is
Roxy.
Roxy. She's a little bit more softer than I would say for Velma. So I would do more of like a peachy kind of pink color, and more pinkish blush as well, less contour. If that makes sense, yeah. Because you're the sweeter, innocent version of Velma.
So sweet.
Or you look that way.
Sweeter.
Yes, yeah.
Sweeter.
So for lip liner, I'm just going to follow the edge of her lips.
So did you spray something on the lip liner?
All I'm spraying, this is alcohol. So I'm just sanitizing
Oh,
as I go.
sanitizing. Okay.
Yeah, of course, if it's your own, give it a good sharpen if it's not brand new. and then I will line her lips. I'm gonna do one side to show you the difference of it. So just relax.
We're lining the lips.
Yes, we
So just following the natural lip line.
yes.
The one thing to note for 20s in Chicago is they really emphasize that Cupid's bow.
Mhm.
What if you don't
That's
have one?
You
can
make
kind
one.
of make one. You can kind of go a little outside of what your lips naturally do to create that look.
Yeah.
Let
So
me
I
see.
emphasized her
You
Cupid's
have
bow.
one?
Becomes flat.
As you
I
can
don't
see,
pronounce one.
Look at what she's done with her.
I emphasized that Cupid's bow.
Get my chapped lips all up in there.
Oh, they're not too bad at all. No one really gave you a warning that you would be my model, so.
Oh my word.
She woke up like this.
You know.
So of course with lipstick, you can use any red shade that you have. If you're more comfortable with a liquid, use a liquid. I'm going to be using
So your
lipstick.
liner isn't red. Is it red?
Mm-hmm.
It is a red liner.
Mhm.
Okay.
You can also use the same lipstick to line if you want to use the same product for more than one item.
Hmm.
Which stays longer, liquid or regular lipstick?
Liquid will stay the longest because that actually dries down.
Yeah.
The only thing with that is it will feel more dry, I would say. It's a little bit more drying on the lips. I will say that Velma has a very like satiny kind of lip to her, so we're gonna stick with more of a cream.
I have a liquid red lipstick I've been using since like 5th grade. It's my lord and savior during shows.
Yes, yeah.
Because it don't go nowhere.
Yes, it is a good.
It stays.
And I'm just using a lip brush, but of course, if you have a lipstick tube of your own, you just go in and apply. And I'm just gonna fill her in.
I'm so sorry.
Let's say bad allergies.
Okay, good. That's not a feather. This is a feather.
Anatomy and physiology teacher gives us candy every day.
There are going to be feathers everywhere.
You see that difference
Every-
that it makes?
Like she has like a lunchbox full of house candy. And on Friday, she
Okay.
had full bags of Skittles and full things of Starburst. So we all took advantage.
I see it I see that every time.
Starburst. Yes, my anatomy and physiology teacher brings like a lunchbox full of candy every day for us to eat, and she had full things of like Starburst and Skittles and gummies on Friday.
You're so
That
They gave
class
us
is going to
cupcakes.
kill me. But the
Cupcakes and
teacher's
ice cream
great.
one day at school, and when I tell you we became sugar high and summer picnics passed out.
aren't that great. Because like you're gonna brush for like 2 hours and then
I feel like
but then candy is in your body.
I feel like
So,
science adjacent.
as I look at her face, I noticed that the lashes, if they start to move, they will typically start to loosen in the inner corner, which on hers are starting to lift. So I'm just gonna go back and with the glue and re-glue them. Of course, if you have kind of like this applicator, you can go right on the eye. I am not going to do that. So I'm going to just re-glue that down so they're not gonna fly off of you. So I'll have you just close for me. Let that dry for a second and I'll just tack it back down. You can just open and look down at your nose. feeling like Velma?
Yeah, oh my gosh.
Oh wow.
Holy moly. Oh my goodness.
Who is she? Yes. And the final step is setting spray. Any setting spray. Shake.
Now you just need a black wig.
Close. And you're gonna feel it all over the face. It's very.
Something like before you go anywhere after this, I'm gonna try that wig on you. See the
Yes!
Someone take a picture of that and send it.
I also sprayed some of that setting spray on the sponge. And I'm just tapping that into the skin. So it is not going anywhere.
So setting spray over setting powder?
They're different.
Different?
Mhm.
Ah.
So
Both. Good.
Yeah, both I would recommend for any production. It's just gonna help it last a bit more. And then say if you run off stage and you're feeling a little extra sweaty, just have someone walk you down with some powder just to remattify it for you as well. But yeah, that is my Miss Velma.